Oh, there's more dogs on the way. This is a domino fall. Jared Curtis will usher in a number one recruiting class next. Locked on Bulldogs.
You are Locked on Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Locked on Bulldogs, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV. Fire TV is also an Xbox. Learn more, amazon.com/Fire TV Locked on. Today's episode, we're talking three things. First one I'm going to say is, will more recruits now come because Jared Curtis is here? Answer yes. Secondly, can we have the number one recruiting class? And then lastly, are legacy ads really that important? Are they crucial? Are they important for the brand of Georgia? Glad you were here. The everydayers, the first listeners, those who are here every single day. We appreciate you guys so much. Those who wake up in the morning, download, listen to it as you drink your cup of coffee. And those loyal third segment listeners that listen all the way to the end, we appreciate you guys so much. Today, I'm going to ask you, are more dogs incoming now that Jared Curtis has committed twice to the Dogs? A little background information. Earlier this week, Jared Curtis, the number one quarterback, not the number one pocket quarterback, not the number one athletic quarterback. No, the number one quarterback in the entire land. I don't care what Tennessee you say. Commits to the Dogs. Now he's committed again. He was committed, decommitted, checked out some things, looked around, said, hey, what is life all about? Is my opportunity best here? Turns out it is. That's why Kirby Smart does not burn bridges. Kirby Smart does not vacate relationships. He sticks with them through and through. Jared Curtis and Mike Bobo. And Mike Bobo's insistence that Jared Curtis be a dog was huge for this. Comes to fruition, commits to the Dogs second time. He's locked in now. Many of you are saying, well, wait until that pen hits paper and the ink is done. If you do it one time and you decommit, you go back to the lady that you said yes to first of all. Jared Curtis is all dog. He's it. Now, Kirby Smart, staff, Mike Bobo, Stacey Searles, get to take their attention and they get to go elsewhere with it. And the attention that they get to bring and they get to have is on one. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Cantwell is a absolute beast. I can't be excited enough for this guy. Okay. He is big, long, athletic. He is somebody that you just have to see in person to really understand his importance and just the all-around presence he brings to an offensive line. Right now, many people have him going to Miami. Miami brought out the big guns for him. And when I say big guns, I mean their version. McKinney comes on over, says, hey, why don't you come on down to Miami? Let me tell you how great it is. Let me tell you how awesome it is. Let me tell you why you need to be in Miami. I was in Miami. Here's how great it is. Okay, so they have their own, their own pool of offensive linemen. But it seems to me that there's also news and rumblings that Cantwell is being pursued by Oregon. Now, what I find hilarious about all of this, truly and honestly, what I find hilarious is that so many people are out here saying, well, it's going to be Oregon. Well, it's going to be Miami. You can't really trust these kids and where they're going. Miami's just a smoke show and Oregon just has this money. Okay, stop for a second. When you have a 6', 7.5", 300-pound, number 1, 5+ star kid, he can choose anywhere he goes. So right out of the bat, stop saying that no team is part of it. That's untrue. He's the driver's seat for his entire recruitment, has been in the driver's seat for his entire recruitment ever since it began. Okay. He's long, he's athletic. Georgia may be in the lead right now. I have no idea. He may be a Miami Hurricane already. I don't know. But what I do know is the rumor team who's constantly there and the rumor team that he's interacting with and the timeline that he's given is not the noise of Miami and NIL money and South Beach living. It's not Oregon and Phil Knight money and ruling the Pacific Northwest in a lost coast to football greatness. What Georgia has done is it's planted itself in the middle of ACC, Big Ten, SEC tug of war matches with all these kids, and Cantwell is right in the middle of it. A little background on who he is if you don't know. He played track and field. He's from Missouri. He's absolutely Gatorade National Player of the Year finalist. If you want to know how many pancake blocks he had, 158 pancakes over the course of this season. Like 158. It's absurd. Went undefeated in 2023. Had 91 pancakes, 0 sacks allowed during that time. His dad, one-time Olympic thrower. His mom, one-time Olympic thrower. Competed in the 2000 games, 2008 games. These guys, he went to Missouri, or he lives in Missouri. His dad went to Missouri. There's some roots there. That's why he lives there. This is a can't miss prospect. Like I know we sometimes say that. And quarterback is different. Quarterback might have a miss on it. You might have all the talent in the world, but it's such an important head game. This isn't an Ernest Green can't miss. This isn't even an Andrew Thomas can't miss. This isn't even Solomon Kinley. Come on up and prove yourself once you get there. This kid is already, just like we said with Jared Curtis, Cantwell is already a year ahead of everyone else that is playing football in college, in high school right now. The skill set, the training, the reps, the level of play, the technique, not just 6'7", 300 plus pounds. That's great. You need to have that. And that's a huge bonus. You don't need to have that. You can be 6'3", 6'4", 290, something like that in high school, bulk up. And when you get on campus, do that. The 6'7", 300 certainly helps, but it's not everything because you still got to move. But it's his technique that gets me most excited, not just the sheer magnitude of how giant this man is, but it's rather how he flows effortlessly across the field. He's benching 453 times. They're talking about the strength. They're talking about the power. But the thing that is uncanny about him is his kickback, his athleticism, his agility as a tackle, as a big-bodied people mover who loves to finish blocks by putting a guy on his back and putting him out of a play. Cantwell's a can't miss prospect. I can't tell you enough how excited I am for this kid to come to Georgia. I'm calling the shot now. There's a lot we're going to talk about in the next segment, his deadline and what this means for the number one class, because I think his timeline is indicative of what Kirby Smart is doing. The Jared Curtis news and the Cantwell, hopefully soon to be news here in just a little bit soon, is going to be the thing that you and I look back on with a number one class. So I'm calling my shot. He is going to be a dog. Fully believe that 1,000%. And when I say that, guys, he's going to come on campus and he's going to absolutely ball from day one. He's going to be pushing people for reps. He's going to be pushing people for playing time, for pancaking 5-star defensive side of the ball guys. I can't tell you enough how excited I am. You should be excited too. And this just in, Jared Curtis is excited, and they're talking about it. They're talking about it on social media, and that I'm going to get into, again, the importance of the number one class. But dominoes are falling. It starts with Cantwell, and then it just snowballs from there on out in this draft or in this recruiting class. I'm going to come back after this, let you know why the number one recruiting class is in play for Georgia, who we have, where we've been, where we're going, and the importance that social media, NIL, and Kirby Smart plays into that. I'm going to do all of that, but first, these. And these are, in fact, Amazon Fire TV. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn on any TV, and you can turn it into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and Avowed as early as or as easily as you stream on your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. It's affordable and portable gaming. Play high-quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. Already have a console? Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with, allowing you to take you or your kids games wherever you plug in. We love gaming. I love getting excited for the summer and compiling a dynasty, going all the way from high school into the pros on college football. It's fantastic, and you need to get into it. I'm into it on Fire TV Stick 4K. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV locked on to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K second gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max first and second gen, and Fire TV Cube third gen. Get over there right now. Amazon Fire TV Stick /Fire TV locked on. All right, we're back talking about how important this, not only the domino effects of a Jared Curtis and then Cantwell, because he's going to be a major player in this, how alphas like playing with alphas. The number one recruiting is just before. So I want to talk about the timeline of Cantwell, the NIL, the social media interaction that Jared Curtis is doing, and why that's important for us. And then I'm going to break down where we are currently in next year's recruiting cycle, where we have been in years prior in the two back-to-back national championship, what led up to that, where we've been so far. There's going to be some empirical evidence of how we dipped last year. We didn't win a playoff game because we weren't that talented, or I should say we weren't as talented as we once were. That's fair, right? Don't yell at me because I said we're not void of talent, but we were not as talented as once before. I'm going to walk through all of that. I'm going to give you the timeline that Jackson Cantwell has given, and the interaction with Jared Curtis and why that plays the number one recruiting class. Number one, it seems that he had a pretty important visit all the way down to Oregon. It's pretty awesome that he went out there, got to look around. He's scheduled to make another visit to Georgia May 10th before his decision, May 13th, that comes out. And his April 22nd visit to Oregon. Look, by all indications, he had a great time, because everybody has a great time. You're a college kid. You go to Phil Knight, you go to Oregon. It's incredible. It's fun up there, y'all. If you haven't been to Oregon, you haven't been to Eugene, it's a little bubble that they take sports, they take training, they take a lot of things serious up there. It is a big time thing. Okay, great. Cantwell goes out there, goes to Miami, goes to Oregon, goes to every single place that he wants to go. He was scheduled to do April 30th. And then he says, no. Actually, I want it to be May 13th. And so he will be on site one more time before the May 13th visit. And he's talking to Jared Curtis. Jared Curtis is saying, hey, I want Cantwell. I'm putting it out there. There's Instagram posts in which these guys are interacting, in which there's a little intrigue, and don't try to read too much into the tea leaves, but this is part of the process and why I think this is all exciting. And I've said it before on the podcast, I'll say it again. There seems to be a buzz around this recruiting cycle, like there was Richard Blount, Jake Fromm, and the rest of the guys that went Santa shopping at Christmas and had all the announcements for us, that really, really started the Kirby Smart downhill roller coaster of greatness. Not the downhill decline, but just the momentum swing to get us down there. It started with that. And I think it's going to start again with this, because there's excitement, there's hub, there's interplay, there's cachet, there's a number one recruiting class now is not what it was before. I was kind of working in the shadows. It was kind of just nose down, visit weight rooms, visit fields, have great relationships with high school coaches, and own your boundary. That is all still part of it. You got to hit the pavement. You got to hit your feet to ground. But the other thing that it takes is it does take guys recruiting other guys, not just Kirby recruiting them, but speaking well when you go to these camps, when you go to these competitions, when you're doing the rankings. How are you talking about it with each other? How are you swaying? Because that plays a huge, huge factor into it. Just look no further than USC's brothers coming over, the Branch brothers coming over to Georgia together as a tandem deal. They went to USC together. USC is hype central over there, social media central over there. It plays a factor into these young men's minds and thoughts. And it's not because they're prima donnas. Like, some guys are prima donnas. I understand. I get it. I'm not saying that there's no prima donna. What I'm saying is that's not the only reason. These guys are not just attention-seeking guys. It's fun. You would have fun if people were talking about you on a platform in which everyone can see, in which all your family can see, all your friends. You have this influence, and we could all roll our eyes on what influence is. But for a lot of these kids that are working so hard, that are in the weight room, that are on the field, doing just sweat, blood, and tears the entire time, it's fun to have a little notoriety, little fame, and to do it with each other on a platform, because you do this as well. I do this as well. We interact with people that we didn't think we were going to interact with. The world has become so flat that I can hop on X and interact with people that are watching the show, that are over on YouTube. Many of you guys, I have no preconceived notion. I can interact with Florida and Florida State fan, and it's a bad day. But these guys are publicizing for free and sharing, getting an inside look at their honest conversation. Now, of course, there's text messaging and there's other ways that they're doing it, but it indicates behind the scenes. You put the public face forward, what is privately held, as you grow in relationship, as you gear up. It seems to me that Jared Curtis and Cantwell have a true friendship, intriguing, budding friendship. That may help. That may not lead to him coming to Georgia. I think it does. I think he's all dog all the way. He may choose to go elsewhere, but these kids in this day and age, not only to have a number one recruiting class, do you not only need to have boots on the ground hitting hard, but you need to have this fun interplay back and forth. Let me tell you where we've been in the recruiting class. If you haven't been there, 2021 Georgia comes in fourth in that cycle. Alabama, Ohio State, LSU ahead of Georgia on that. Some notable ones. That was the Mims. That was the Ingram Dawkins. That was the Smilemon and the Brock Vandegrift. Okay, so a little lower. Mims was the best. Mims goes on elsewhere. Nyland Green goes on elsewhere, transfers. That was Xavier Sori, Dylan Fairchild, Brock Bowers. That was that class. Okay, then 2022 that was that class. Sorry. 2022 rolls along. Texas A&M, Alabama 1 and 2. Georgia, number 3 with 30 commits. It was one of our biggest classes we've had under Kirby Smart. So that was the Starks, Michael Williams, Everett, Jones, Jalen Walker, Ernest Green. Some notable names, but a lot of those names, if I was to continue going down this list, a lot of these names, Humphrey, Singletary, CJ Washington, Bear Alexander, Branson Robinson, Darius Smith, Marcus Washington, CJ Madden, a lot of that crew is gone. Transferred out, no longer here. 2023, number 2 behind Alabama. Do you guys sense how bad Alabama is not to win with all this talent? Jordan Hall, Raylan Wilson, AJ Harris, Aguero, Monroe Freeling, Damon Wilson. That was a pretty dang good class. 2023. 2024, we were the number 1 recruiting cycle. Huge gets. Ellis Robinson, Justin Williams, KJ Bolden, Chris Cole. A lot of these guys are already paying dividends, already playing huge roles. 2025 rolls around, and the commit class that we have already on campus, we've talked about Elijah Griffin, Isaiah Gibson, and Juan Gaston in the trenches already. Looking ahead for 2026, right now, you shouldn't look ahead at the rankings today, because they are so outdated. USC is number 1. 27 commits from USC, number 1 recruiting class. Notre Dame, number 2. By the way, Notre Dame starts recruiting well again. Watch out. Marcus Freeman's a beast. I'm here to tell you right now. Penn State 4, Clemson 5, LSU. You have to go all the way down to 17 to find Georgia. We are below names like Illinois, Syracuse, North Carolina, Arizona State, Arkansas, Louisville. We're not going to stay there. Okay. Just a little comparison, right? Xavier Griffin, the number 1 athlete out of Georgia, he's at USC. That one stings. RJ Sermons, cornerback, 4-star, out of Rancho Cucamonga, California. They have some guys. It's yet to find out if USC can actually do anything with the talent and hold on to them. Georgia's class so far, only 8 commits. Fort safety, who, looking at his tape, I'm beyond thrilled for. 5'10", 190, compact, stick of dynamite, ready to come up and absolutely wreak havoc from the secondary. And now Jared Curtis. Those are the top ones. Spafford, wide receiver out of California, Mission Viejo, Orange County, California. He's going to be a good one. And then tight end. Rumor has it that we have the number 2 tight end in all of college or all of high school football, looking at becoming a dog as well. That's a 5-star. These are the sorts of names that we're going to get to know. But more than that, the second you add Cantwell, this we jump into the top 10 with him just on a pure per recruit rating system. Jared Curtis and him vault you up. Secondly, this was the exact feel that the previous years had, that an avalanche of recruits came after a couple of key dominoes because these 5-star kids are waiting to see that. We are going to be the number one class again. I know USC has it. I know there's other 5-stars off the board. I know Georgia's working from behind on a couple other guys, notably a couple linebackers that I really, really, really wish we're going to grab some edge guys, but we already got edge this year, so hold on to that. But I firmly believe we will wind up with it because you get 2 guys that are in the top 3 nationally, Cantwell and Jared Curtis. The rest will come. The banter's there, the publicity is there, the recruits are there, and we have room to go. Georgia did this last year, if you all remember. We were down in the rankings for so long. Signing day comes up, we're in the top 3 on every single recruiting board across the nation. And it wasn't because we got lucky. It wasn't because these guys had recruiting cycle changes, Juan Gaston being one of them that really vaulted up. That did happen. But it was because Kirby was strategically planning when to release and in coordination what's going to be best for the kid and best for Georgia, when to make these announcements. Stop looking at the rankings right now and say, why isn't Georgia doing anything? We will be fine. I promise you. Number 1, incoming with Jared Curtis. Lock it up. We're going to come back after this. I'm going to let you guys know why, or maybe just ask, is legacy really still a thing? And should it be in college football? But first, These are, in fact, Monarch money. Every time you check your bank account and wonder, hey, where'd all my money go? Dining out, online shopping, entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch money comes in. Your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control of your finances. It's not just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. Track all your accounts, investments, spending in one place so you can just stop managing money and start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, use Monarch Money, check all your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals, all in one convenience right there for you. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use promo code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com. 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. We're back. Loyal third segment listeners, everydayers, first listeners, we appreciate you guys so much. We are now talking about legacy. Now, I want to be very careful. I do truly want to be very careful because I know that some of you have near and dear feelings and associations with Georgia football, childhood dreams, people back in the day, names and going on the arches and meeting your significant. I get it. I understand. And I get that for you, the red and black is all that matters. You don't care about the name on the back. You care about the name on the front. And look, we're going to root for Georgia till we're done. But legacy is an interesting new conversation. The tradition aspect of college football is losing some of its shine. The long-standing rivalries, the tradition, Egg Bowl gets changed off of Thanksgiving now on Black Friday, just announced. Tradition and ritual has taken a hit. Loyalty and trustworthiness has taken a hit. And I say my next statement, not because I don't want more Georgia legends to send their kids. Richard Seymour kids been offered by Georgia. Now, Thomas Davis kids been offered by Georgia, Thomas Davis Jr., given that call from Kirby to him. And we all think Thomas Davis, and we think one of the best linebackers ever to play college football, one of the best linebackers to play in NFL. Heat-seeking missile in a day and age in which everybody needed athletic, safety-type guys that can get in the box and hammer down on the run as well as defend the pass. Thomas Davis Jr., he's already committed to Notre Dame, getting that call from Kirby is because he's a great player. Like, straight up, it's because he's a great player. It's because he's worth it. And it's because Kirby Smart can utilize him. It is not nepotism, as many people will claim against Bobo. That's not what he's doing. Thomas Davis Jr. is a fantastic recruit in his own right. 6'2", 205, living in North Carolina, 4-star kid, Notre Dame, Auburn, Boston College, Georgia, all giving him the attention that he deserves because he's a dang good athlete. Here's why legacy, I think, has been lost, and here's why I don't think it's that big of a deal. And don't hate me for that. Don't be Tennessee fan and throw things on the field at me. But I don't think it's that big of a deal because NIL has effectively killed so much tradition and so much of the pomp, and in a good sense, not in the bad sense of college football, that it doesn't carry the weight that it used to. Now, kids like Thomas Davis Jr., I don't know Thomas Davis Sr.'s advice to his son, but it's just like all of our advice, go to the place that's going to be best suited for you. Before that was, well, you know me, I played there, legacy, tradition, heritage, following in my footsteps is going to be great. It's going to be glorious. Please go do so. And the kid would have done so, and it would have been good for him, and he would have been availed every opportunity before. Well, NIL has basically said that piece, that honoring piece, is really, really small now. It's not as big. There are some kids who grew up watching with their parents every single Saturday and have the understanding of, no, this is just what I love so much. Stetson Bennett comes up, right? That's the name you're going to go. Well, Clint, what about Stetson Bennett? He did. Okay, yeah, you're right. He did. He was molded. He molded himself into the best college football quarterback ever. He wasn't like that to begin. Okay, there's a big difference. Thomas Davis Jr. is already to the point where before it would have been, yeah, let's honor this when the world wasn't flat, when it was more regional, when you only got games on based on where you lived and you couldn't reach across the globe and watch other things. It just had more weight to it. It doesn't carry the same weight any longer. And I hate to break it to you. He may not be swayed because his dad's alma mater came calling and said, hey, come on over here. I don't know if he's going to be swayed to come on, to decommit from Notre Dame, who's got a dang good football coach and a dang good tradition unto itself. And he's going to go where he thinks is going to set him up best to do so. Notre Dame's got a pretty good list of linebackers and safeties that have gone on to do well in the league. Georgia has as well. But we didn't give him an offer before. Maybe he feels slighted. I don't think so. I think kids at this level, at this day and age, no, they're just going to go where they're going to see best. You might get a couple of good old boy O linemen that are fishing on draft day and not looking at in suits that they're doing. That you still get those, but it's shrinking ever so small. Bemoan that, hate that, don't like it. I don't think legacy has that much to do with recruiting anymore, and I don't know if we're going to get Thomas Davis Jr. because we're just the red and black. He's going to go where he's going to see fit for his best, and his dad's going to support him in that because he knows what was best for him at the time was go to Georgia and then go on and play the league. It might be Notre Dame for his kid, and that's what you want. You want the best for your kid. This has been Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. We'll be back next week talking more about them dogs. We'll see you guys then.